Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome if you're new, welcome if you're a returning subscriber. My name is Chitra Moon. Today we're going to look at what aspects of your personality make you incredibly beautiful. We've got 4 beautiful images in front of you. If you want to go ahead and pick more than one pile, you can totally do that. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to choose. Please also feel free to pause the video, but the countdown to choose will start now. Hi, pile 1. So if you felt gravitated towards picking pile 1, this is going to be your reading. Before we get into it, a couple things to note. I am not exactly sure how much I'm going to be able to be offering here on YouTube going forward. I am incredibly busy with private readings and my Patreon channel. So you might want to check out the Patreon channel if you do enjoy my videos and want to see more content. But I will also be offering the extended reading to this reading on that platform. And guys, I know a lot of you tend to kind of shy away from shadow side readings or get worried about what I'm going to say. We go very deep over there, and I promise you it is not going to be a negative reading. A lot of people feel very refreshed and rejuvenated from getting those types of readings because it ends up explaining a lot about what's going on with them and their immediate circle. So that extended reading will be offered through Patreon. If you'd like to check out my second channel where I do talk about spirituality, ascension, and life, please check the first link in the description box. If you'd like to book a private reading as well too, the link will be there, the last link. And guys, please also note that with this reading, it can't resonate with everybody, okay? If you're able to pull a couple things, then it's still for you, but please take what resonates and leave the rest. And also, please listen to the reading in its entirety so that you do not miss out on a message for you. I will be working between my remote viewing and the cards. There could be some specific messages that come out for certain people, but again, don't knock the reading if, the rest of it resonates, but the specific things did not. So let's get into this reading, pile 1. When I looked at these cards at a first glance, I heard the saying, to know you is to love you. To know you is to love you. I just feel like you're loved by anyone that knows you. I feel like nobody can't help but love you. And listen, there could be some, negative traits that you carry, like we all do. And that could be found, that could be viewed in the extended reading. But I feel like even your haters really love you. I really do. It's hard not to. There is just like this energy coming through for pile 1 of just living life to the fullest. And really just trying to make the most of your time, like here on earth, the time while you got it. We've got a very creative individual, someone here who is just living life to the extent of what is possible for them and really trying their best to be extremely happy. And I think you are genuinely happy. People love this about you. I feel like here, there's an energy that comes forth just even from your smile, from your, physical energy, your aura, being near you, listening to your stories. I feel like you've always got something going on. I feel like you also are like living life on your own terms. And even if you have your own job, and you go to a 9 to 5 job, that still applies. But there's an aspect of your personality that is just really in control. Really in control. And I don't care how old you are watching this. So even if you're a mother watching this and you've got responsibilities, there are aspects of your personality that really you take seriously. And, outwardly, you're going to live your life to your fullest and it's going to be on your own terms and you're going to be in control. People aspire, I feel like, to be like this. Like you aspire people to be like this. Like you take control of time. And you live, again, life on your own terms. And you're not afraid to go outside the box with this pile. You're not afraid to kind of go into the unknown. And again, I'm going to really talk to people who may be at a certain age or have been put these kind of stereotypes on. it doesn't matter what others think of you or what these people think you should be doing. Like, again, you're living life on your own terms. And I think this card here is very symbolic for me with the encore, because I feel like here, like your whole being is a standing ovation. Your whole being. You're doing things. You're making life happen. And some of those decisions that you've been making may really, again, be out of the box. So let's say, for example, you're a solo traveler. You don't care about being with somebody or having companionship. You're like, I'm going to go and live my life. Or let's say you are working an unconventional job, but you're taking control of, your life. You've kind of looked at what you do good and you're like, I'm going to make the most of this. There's, again, that energy of making the most of time. And this is something I feel like here, it's like the standing ovation. It's like an encore, like bravo, bravo, everybody wants to say that. And again, even those haters could say that, but they're not going to, they may not. But really in the back, it's like, look at that person just really living in their truth. I feel like here, you're always doing something that's extremely exciting. You've always got something to say. It's like a story there, something that you've been thinking about, you want to do, like the mind is going, like people find your mind fascinating, but people also, I feel like, live vicariously through you. So I wouldn't be surprised if, some people are always coming up and saying, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Because I know you're doing something, of course you're doing something. Or, like, what are your plans for 2024? And you've got like a whole thing, written out, like, or just mentally, like, that you're going to be doing, things you want to tackle. There's definitely a bucket list with this pile. This pile is like crossing off, things that need to be accomplished. Like, you're just reaching for the stars, and people feel that. People really do feel that. I feel like you also, through living your life authentically, literally cheer people up energetically. Like, you cheer people up, and people love to be near you because you just do this through just basically talking about your own life, what you like to do, what you will be doing, how you live. You could be very funny. You could be very like, I'm feeling like a lightness. There's a lightness to your energy body, or just even the way you express yourself. I think people really do trust you. There's a trusting nature here. You are very innocent in the way that you deal with people. People don't feel like there's a bad bone in your body, or like a manipulative bad bone in your body. And they can pick this up just from like one conversation with you. It feels light to me. It feels refreshing. Like, if I'm meeting you, I'm not really feeling like I've met somebody like you before. You're different and you're exciting. Okay. Like I said, like this pile, you've got things going on, like you've got plans, you've got things you want to do. This is not a pile that is just going to like, shrink off into the corner and just live a mundane life. Like, again, you're here to live. And look at this card. Look how bold she is standing in front of that elevator, taking the elevator instead of the stairs. You are really about the opportunities, and those doors, she actually has her hand on the door. She's like, no, you're not going to close this door on me. I'm going to walk through it, and I'm going to like wow and pizzazz everybody, okay, and get this opportunity. I'm going to make it happen. And I'm not taking the stairs. I'm going full throttle. And, there could be something very endearing about you taking opportunities whenever you see them, making the most. I feel like there's also a busyness here. So no matter how much you have on your plate, you're always willing to like make more room for fun. And this is also very enjoyable, like to hear, to listen to watch. You're daring, daring. And I think with this, you're also inspiring others. This makes you incredibly beautiful. And if you are a woman watching, which you most likely are, this makes you even more incredibly beautiful because, sometimes as women, we can struggle a lot with like fears and doubts. But I feel like you've mastered this. I mean, you've got the Magician here. So you've definitely mastered this part of you. And you're taking whatever you have that is creative, or, you know, again, what works for you, like your resources, and you're making the most of it. And listen, if you are insanely beautiful, you're making the most of those looks as well too. You're using them. You're charming, you're exuberant, just really like a breath of fresh air again, okay? But you could be also accomplishing, like I said, a lot of things that are different, you know, like people in your group are just like, oh, I never heard of that. Oh, you're doing that. Oh, that's cool. I've never heard of that. Like, I feel like a lot of people never heard of any of the things that you're trying to do. And again, it's just very alluring, you know? Now with the Magician, there's a strength and a willpower to go after anything. After anything. Like, you're gonna make it happen. I don't care what this may be about. I don't even care if there's something that's been wrongfully done to you. You're definitely going to find your way out of it. And this makes you incredibly beautiful, because I feel like people try to copy this charming way, trying to see if it could work for them. But you're definitely like a role model in a sense, you know, because it's like you don't see no barriers at all. And you're really fun to be around. Absolutely. You're infectious. You're infectious to be around. You're actually motivating people to do better. Now, I love this card. This cat got 9 lives. So you maybe, again, got some stories. You got some stories. It makes you beautiful. It also, there's an innocence to it. Maybe these people who are like listening to the stories that you have maybe wouldn't do it themselves, but they live vicariously again through you. And you could have a very suspenseful life, or you've had a lot of things happen to you in your life, and it's just thrilling to listen to, you know? But again, the fact that we got this card with this cat got 9 lives talks about like getting up and going after again and again. Like, you're not afraid of failure. You're just not. And you could very much dress differently as well too with that Magician card. There could be something very unique about your look. I mean, if you look at what she's wearing, we don't really see people dressing like that, you know? But you could have a very different look, but you are definitely SEXY, very much so. And I don't care if you're a man or a woman watching. You're alluring, and it's not that you're trying to be, it's just that full package deal that is just so alluring. I want to just title this pile Alluring. You also, I feel like there could be a possibility that with the Magician, you make your own clothes, or you find deals, or you know how to throw things together. Like, the Magician is just like that magical energy that just can make anything happen. So even in your wardrobe, it's like, how did you make that happen? Like, how did you get that look? How did you do that on such a short time? You know, how did you stand out the way you did? Like, bravo again with the Encore card. Bravo, bravo. Now, you could be very also wild and adventurous. You surprise people. You definitely do with this pile. You surprise people. And, you know, I'm feeling like there could be some people here who come from very traditional families. And you're that one, you know, person in the family where we just never know what the heck they're going to say. What are they going to say they're doing next, you know? But listen, sky's the limit with this pile. And again, like, you are not going to waste time with your life. You're going to live it. And there's also an independent streak here, I feel like, with this card, create your own happiness. You're not finding your happiness in others. I feel like with this pile, you probably don't often talk about like love interests. It's not just really something that you care about. I mean, yeah, sure, if you have somebody, that's great, but you're not really like one of those people who are bogged down by like emotional relationships. You just, again, all about creating your own happiness. So you're not really concerned about who likes you, who doesn't like you, who wants to be with you. You just want to be happy, like, you know, just again, fulfilled by yourself. I think happiness is a big deal for this pile. People can sense that that is your ultimate priority of, you know, knowing who you are, grabbing opportunities left, right, and center, and being happy within your own skin. It's very important for you. So there could be a lot about like self-development. Now we've got this card here, freedom, casual, being single, and lightness. The first thing I saw when I saw that card was like, people love the fact that you're not, okay, you know how like when you kind of, get to know somebody and like, let's say like, you know, you don't text them back right away and then all of a sudden there's problems. I feel like there's a lightness here with this. Like you're not taking anything personally. I feel like you're that type of friend that I can just pick up with after 2 months and it's all good. Like you don't harbor grudges. That also makes you insanely beautiful because again, you're so focused on yourself that you're not worried about what anybody else is doing. You know, I'm not saying that you don't want to have a friend, but I feel like here there's a lightness and people can sense the lightness that you have within yourself. It exudes out and also catapults into kind of how you are with people. And people, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like you're not clingy, you're not trying to be like making that person your property. You're just all about fun, you know, fun, freedom, living to the fullest. And it's a very fresh energy, okay? You could be accomplishing a lot as well with this pile, accomplishing a lot. And your accomplishments could be really out there, you know, really out there, you know, and I mean like in a way like, oh, you just started your own business on YouTube or, oh, you went, like some of the stuff could be really shocking. Maybe people peg you for one type of person and then you come out of nowhere and you're like, yeah, I got a degree in this and that. Like you could be an eternal learner, but always trying to kind of like self-help yourself, like always trying to grow. And that energy that's focused again onto yourself is something that is really beautiful because again, if you've got responsibilities in your life, it doesn't matter. You're still putting energy into that. And people find that extremely, extremely impressive. I feel like you also, with the Magician, probably give really good pep talks. I feel like you may be that person who it's like, I'm going to call Jackie. Jackie, like, she's the only one that can get me out of this. Like, she will be able to make me laugh, make me feel better about my situation. I need to talk to her. Or there could be something about advice. Listen, if you're very young watching this, I don't care how young you are, you've got wisdom. You are an old soul and you're able to, I feel like, walk a lot of people out of bad situations. So this is also what makes you beautiful. There's probably a lot of people in your life, even if you don't talk to them anymore, they're going to remember you. They're going to be like, that woman or that guy, they really were there for me. They talked me out of a lot of things that, you know, might, you know, could have been a wrong path, or they gave me the inspiration I needed. Like you are kind of like an undercover life coach, to be very honest. You could be, or maybe you're doing that for a living. If you are, then you found your calling. Because you see, the thing that I have an issue with life coaches is if you're not like living that life yourself, you shouldn't be giving the advice. But with this pile, you live that life, so you can give it. Okay, I'm getting some things like through remote viewing that may be for specific people. I'm seeing like beautiful hair bows in the hair, or something with the hair. There's a uniqueness with the hair. I don't know if it's headbands, head accessories. And then I'm also seeing somebody who may be making their own jewelry or making something. You've got a side hustle, or you're doing something that's creative with your hands. You're making something with your hands. And this is beautiful. You don't even need to be doing this, but it's just your creative juices flowing out. And the fact that you do this just to, you know, exude those, you know, creative juices and do something with it is beautiful. It's really beautiful. But even the stuff that you're making is beautiful. It's really makes you beautiful. It's like, you created that. Well, you're beautiful as well too then, if you could actually create that. Wow. The other thing I like about this pile, the image is on fleek. The image is on fleek with the Magician. Like, your image is just impeccable. You could really be a showstopper with this pile. And I'm saying, like, even if you are dressing up, or like some people, it could be all the time. Could be all the time, but for some of you, it could be just when you dress up. But you are a showstopper. Like, you are stunning. And I don't care, again, how old you are watching. I really hope that anybody who's watching this would not say that they're not, you know, beautiful. But you could be a very, like, a showstopper. Like, when you turn up, okay? I also like with this card, the Freedom card, I think people like that you don't have expectations of them. You only have expectations of yourself. So again, that's coming through again with the lightness. You're not here to control others. You're just here to be like a friend. And I feel like people love the fact that you just keep it very light with them. And, you know, you don't take things personally. This is beautiful. And also to like a deep conversationalist, a philosophic person, you've got something to say about everything. Like you're very intelligent, and intelligence can come in many different forms. So don't think I'm talking about like university degrees, although for some of you it could be. But I feel like if anybody is talking to you about any subject, you've got something to say. And that's kind of comes from, you know, maybe being able to blend into like all walks of life. There's no shrewdness, there's no stobbiness with this pile. And that's very refreshing to see, very. You know what's funny about this pile is I actually just saw people listening to you or meeting you and all of a sudden feeling like they got this fear of missing out after talking to you. Like you're inspiring people to be more outgoing, more daring, you know, live in their truth, be freer, you know, just really live life to the extent. So you're actually doing a lot with this pile. You're insanely beautiful, but I feel like now that I've read majority of this reading, you probably have a mission here with this, not only by the way that you live, but by the way that you're inspiring others. So I feel like here, when you meet people, you're actually through this personality that you have and these beautiful qualities that you exude, you're actually inspiring others to kind of go after their dreams. And I love the travel card, the outside card, the party card. You know, you just love to be spontaneous. You love to kind of, you know, learn. You love to be outside. I think there's a love of nature with some of you. People can really appreciate this. The fact that you can just really find beauty in everything. And, you know, maybe you spend a lot of time outside. Maybe you love flowers. Maybe you do things with flowers that people find beautiful. But also to party is here. So no matter if I'm just sitting in the corner with you having a 5-minute conversation, I feel like I went to a party. That's just how exciting it is to meet you, okay? To be around you, to have conversations with you. You lift me up. That's what I'm hearing. And we've got the social media card. There's something very beautiful about your social media. I don't know if it's the way that you align your pictures. I don't know if it's the coordination. I don't know if it's the fact that it's because it's you, pictures of you, it's beautiful. But there's a lot of beauty around your social media. And I feel like it's also the way you portray yourself. You portray yourself in the most beautiful light. And I am seeing some people here, they've got some deep profiles. You know, this is not just, you know, for some of you, it could just be, you know, like that you're out and about. But for some of you, it could be that it's like your profile's deep. Like we got some big captions. You know, you're out in nature. You're talking about life. And this in itself, the energy of your social media is exuding through the screen to others. So with this pile, there's so much. I'm trying to keep this reading within 20 minutes. But I could talk about you for days. I feel like keep doing what you're doing. You are a catalyst. You're changing others by just being around them, sharing your stories, you know, your beauty that exudes out your pores, this live life, taking life by the, you know, BALLS and not wasting time, your pep talks. You are an awesome friend. You're an awesome anything. Keep going, keep doing this, because you're not just serving as a beacon of light for your own self, you're serving as a beacon of light for everybody who meets you. And there's a trickle effect. So by being around others and sharing, you know, again, your space and energy, you're changing the world, okay? Because the way that you live is the way we all should be living. Again, YOLO, right? Okay, guys, so if you want to catch that extended reading, you can totally catch the link within the comment section or the description box. I wish you all the best. Take care. Hi, pile 2. Okay, before we get into your reading, a couple of things to note. I am going to be offering the extended reading on my Patreon platform. It will be the shadow side to this reading. Now, a lot of you always think it's going to be super negative. It's not negative at all. It's actually quite deep. We do get very deep on Patreon. And a lot of people do find those readings to be very helpful. Okay, it opens their eyes up to a lot more, than they can see within their own circle, what's around them. So it's never going to be a negative thing. It's always going to be positive in the end. So if you want to check that out, check that link in the description box or within the comment section to access that video. And guys, I don't know how often I will be able to be posting here on YouTube. So if you do want to see more content from me, Patreon will be the way to go. Like I said, I'm just extremely heavily busy right now with private readings, and these readings do take a lot out of me energetically. I am trying my best to keep up, but again, if you want to see more, check out the Patreon link. Also, please note, this reading is going to be for thousands of people, not just you watching. So please take what resonates and leave the rest. There may be some specific messages that come out for particular people who are watching, but it doesn't mean that, the rest of the reading will not resonate with you. Also, if you'd like to book a private reading, check the last link in the description box. You can find me on Fiverr, and we can go from there. So let's look at pile 2. The first thing that I'm picking up right away with this pile is you've got a heart of gold, okay? I feel like you're a true friend. You are a true friend. This is what makes you really beautiful. I feel like you're quite open too. There is an innocence about you that is, it's very remarkable actually that you still have this. Because I know, just like anybody else, probably you've had a lot of, deception or things that have went wrong in your life, but you're always there to offer a helping hand. You legit actually care about humanity. What makes you actually beautiful with this pile is the fact that you haven't been soured and that you actually do give an F about people. Yeah. That's the first thing I'm seeing. You legit care about your fellow neighbor, your fellow friend. And I feel like here there's an openness, I feel like there's an accepting. You accept people for exactly who they are. And, even if that's within your family or your friendships or your coworkers, even if someone is nasty or mean towards you, you accept them for who they are. You still love them. You still meet them with kindness. This is very rare. I'm feeling like you've got a tolerance level that is pretty mind-boggling for people. And listen, you may actually have some stories or things going on in your life right now of people who are at this moment giving you HELL, but you're still meeting them with kindness. So I don't know why I'm hearing you divulging stories of people that you have to deal with in your life or a person and the nasty things they do to you, and you're just still being nice about it. So this is also what makes you beautiful, is that you're not you haven't been tainted. You're just so pure, in energy. It's almost it's adorable, actually, to be very real. And the card here of you wear your heart on your sleeve is just poking out at me and also the overshares, but let's just go slowly here with the heart on the sleeve. I think here, you've got a energy where you don't even care who comes your way. If they need something, and you legit believe that they need something that you need to offer, you'll give it to them. So I feel like people don't have to even know you long for you to kind of exude this kindness. People, I feel find this really beautiful about you, and it's rare. They may have never come across you before, a type of person like you. It's just so refreshing to see somebody, with this much spirit about them. You're bubbly, you're energetic. I feel also too with the overshares, there could be something here about not being perfect, being aware that you're not perfect, but you're okay with that. And I feel there's a vulnerability to you where you don't mind, sharing with people, your downfalls or, what has happened, your failures, or just being like kind of like an open book, but like you're funny about it, like you're open about it. You don't let it just like, ruin you. And I want you to know that that makes you beautiful, because then people feel somehow safe with you. There are a lot of people who walk around and try to be perfect and act like as if, they just made it to the top and there was no like, issues. I really don't like people like that, because it doesn't give a realistic impression of, what life is. But with you, it's just real. Like, you're just real. And people love that realness. It's raw. And I feel like also I'm seeing like crying. I don't know why I'm seeing crying. You may also not be afraid to kind of express yourself. Like, I'm seeing a very emotional person, like, who's not afraid, like, even when you're happy to cry or to like express. I feel like you don't have to really even know somebody long, but if you feel good about them, you'll tell them before you hang up the phone, like, I love you, love you, love you. Is there anything that you need? Are you good? Okay, good, And I just feel like there's an acceptance by you. Like, this is really deep, guys. I feel like my energy has kind of dropped, because that in itself needs a moment. The fact that you just accept people, it doesn't matter what their story is. It doesn't matter who they are. I'm not saying that you're accepting bad people. I'm just saying, like, we all know there's snobby people in the world. And if you don't come from a particular background, they don't really want anything to do with you. I don't sense that here. Like, you're open. And for those those people who do feel accepted by you, it's something they treasure. It's something they'll always remember you by. And I do feel like with this pile, you may have a ton of people, I don't even know why I want to say this, but like, if anything ever happened to you, you would have a ton of people show up at your funeral. Ton of people. You've impacted so many lives just by like your kindness and your open heart. It's actually like melting my heart, to be honest. And you could have a life that is very busy, very chaotic, but like, you're okay. You're okay to allow people in, you're okay to like, be that person if somebody needs you. Like, you got a million things on your plate, but like, you're going to be there, Now, this is kind of funny with the mimicking card, the copy and paste. I think there's a very funny side to you. People I'm seeing like nonstop laughter, and that's what really reins people in about you too. I mean, does she not look like, let's just take a moment to look at her. Does she not look like a funny person to you? Like, open, kind, just really about like having a good laugh. Like, let's laugh at ourselves, I feel like you do a good impression. I don't know why. Like, you may be funny to the point of like impressions, okay? And people find this really beautiful about you, is that you know exactly how to, get somebody out of a bad mood, or get to somebody, to take them out of like, whatever they feel, just by making them laugh. Like, your humor is really like cute. And I do feel like here we may have, I'm not saying that you are, but we may have some Sagittarius is here. Sagittarius is good for this. Okay. So is Aries. Aries and Sagittarius are good people to call if you're not really feeling too good about yourself. They will just help you out of it. They'll have you laughing in the end. You won't even remember your problems. Now, I do have to point out here with the Six of Pentacles and this perfect random act of a random act of kindness. There could be a generosity level about you that is really beautiful. I'm seeing somebody who's literally like maybe having dinner, and let's say like they have, you have maybe your offspring are like, hey, can Jimmy stay over? Yeah, absolutely. There's more than enough food for everybody. Like, there's just an oversharing, I feel like, that is really beautiful about you. And you know how to like perform a random act of kindness in the nick of time. People will remember you, pile two. I'm really stressing this. Even those enemies, you may want to check out that extended reading, but I feel like even your enemies who have really tried to take you down, who you just met with love are going to remember you, and they're going to feel actually a lot of regret about what they've done. But I also feel like here with this communication card, there's a lot of energy being put into communication, texting, phone calls, online. You check in with people. You are a person who checks in. Like, I feel like I could tell you about something coming up that I have to go see, a professional about, and I'm worried, and it's maybe in a week from now. You're like, in a week from now, hey, like, what happened? Are you okay? You care. You really care. In a world where no one cares. This is really heart-wrenching for me too. I feel like, if this is resonating, I feel like you're just one in a million. And this is what actually really makes you likable. Okay. Again, the overshares as well too, just really not about trying to perfect a perfect image. It's like, hey, this is me, flaws and all. I'm a clown. I could be a klutz. I could, put my foot in my mouth sometimes, but hey, this is me. Gotta love me. It's just really that outgoing, boisterous personality, and it's just so beautiful. And with the Three of Cups, I want you to know something. If you are a female who is watching, I feel like your inner circle, oh my goodness, your inner circle is just like, you are an asset in your inner circle. Like, you are the one. Like, we need you. Like, we love that we have you. But you make everybody feel included in that circle. So it's like, I'm hearing like, when you're a friend of mine, you're also family. And I'm going to treat you like that. And you will be, in my circle. You will be invited. You will not be excluded, and there's an innocence about this as well too. There could be something even a little childlike about you, but it looks good on you. You do rock it well, I have to say. And with the Six of Pentacles, again, just to reiterate, with the perfect perform a random act of kindness, I would not be surprised here if we've got some charity workers, people who are like, okay, well, it's Christmas. Let's, get a turkey and run it down to that, shelter. Like, this is what it's about. We got to do something for others. We have to always do something for others. And this is where it could be your downfall to some extent in life, because you always do put other people first. But that's a reading for another day. Or maybe that will come out, in the extended reading. But for the most part, the fact that you do think about others makes you insanely, incredibly beautiful, like good-hearted, pure soul. Now, I've got the cleanup here card. I really do feel like what makes you beautiful is that you've done a lot of this for others. Okay, you've helped clean up, and you could be a person that comes to the rescue many times over. I don't care who it's for. I don't care if it's for your mother. I don't care if it's for your brother. I feel like you're always there. But again, this may have been a downfall, is that you've always just been that person to clean up or to be helping. But again, it's a reading for another day. But with this, this card, I mean, it's so crazy how a card can just have this one image and just hit you energetically, because I just feel like the extent of this is like, I can't put into words how much you've been there for others or what you've done for people. You're that person to call. I don't care if I feel unsafe. I don't care if I just came out of a breakup. I don't care if I want to share good news. Or if I don't care if I want to get maybe even revenge, you're there, you're down with the cleanup card. And people do feel like there's a solace by coming to you, they can feel better about what they're dealing with. So they often do come to you to clean up maybe their messes, or maybe you've been that person always who has had to do that. And it does make you beautiful. It really does. Let's not underestimate that. Some people would be like, oh, you're an enabler. You should let these people deal with their own problems. But we're not looking at it today. We're looking at the beauty in this. Now, this is interesting with the neighborhood and home. This is a tight-knit community, okay? I feel like here, you make everybody feel accepted, or you're in a community, you're in my community now. You're good, you're with me, I've got your back. And that's what the Three of Cups also for me stands for. So I feel like with this card, you make everybody feel like they came home. Like when they know you, just the fact that like they have you in their corner as a friend, as anything, a teacher, as a mother. I mean, if you're the mother, wow, your little ones are really lucky to have you, because again, like it's over. It's like, I'm good. I've got her or him. I've got her or him. I don't need anything else. I feel like what makes you beautiful is that people like literally feel like they don't need anybody else except for you. You literally, with your energy so bright and your aura so huge, you literally like make up for 10 people. Like you really do. And with the Justice card here, I'm telling you, like you're a ride or die. And if somebody needs you, like you'll be there. But with the Justice card as well too, you are a person, if you see something, you say something. You're not about like letting things go under the carpet. No, not with this pile. What makes you beautiful is the fact that you're going to be that one to stand up and say something. You're like, no. Like, I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to like say what I feel is right. And just that bravery in itself. And let's be real, in a world today where people are very scared to speak their truth, you don't have that. And this goes for others as well too. So even if you see somebody else dealing with something, you will speak up and stand up to anything. Like you're not afraid. And there's also an energy coming through with this pile with respect to that as well too. The fact that you have this bravery, and you could be the tiniest person. I'm really seeing some really tiny, cute people, like maybe 5 foot, you know? And it's like the bravery and the chutzpah and the bravado on you is unbelievable. Like you'll stand up to the biggest bully. You will speak out for others. And it would be interesting too, like if we did have some people here who were lawyers, because I would say like, you know, listen, this is natural for you. It's natural. Guys, like I also feel like with the neighborhood and the home and the Three of Cups cards, there's a getting involved for me. People can rely on you. I don't know if we've got some volunteers here or people who are not afraid to like pitch in. I feel like I'm seeing people who come from a place of yes. So if somebody was to ask you for your help, or even if it was like you had to volunteer to school, you're like, absolutely. And again, it doesn't matter how much you have on your plate. Like people know you're busy, like, cause you're likable. You are likable. You've got a lot going on. This is not a person sitting around doing nothing. This personality is making you so likable that I just feel like a busybody, scattered maybe even, but always coming from a place of yes. And that's what makes you also insanely and incredibly beautiful, is that you come from a place of yes. You're not afraid to like dive in, you know, get involved. The neighborhood and the home, maybe you are very active within your neighborhood, active within your friend group, maybe active, the one who's planning things. Maybe you're active in the school system. I have no idea what this will be. It will be tailored person to person, but you're not a sitting on the sideline person. Like you're all about getting involved. And people find this extremely beautiful too, because first of all, you have to have the energy to do this, right? And then when they find out you've got so much else on your plate, they're like, wow, you know, like this is inspiring, to be honest. Like, where do you get your energy from? And I do feel like your energy is high and upbeat. I think a lot of people can't figure out how you get everything done. You may come from a big family. You may have a lot going on, but it's like, where do you get this energy from? Like, where does it come from? And how do you still have the energy to do what you're doing with how much you've been hurt or lied to? Or, you know, I feel like with this pile, you probably have had like many smear campaigns or people who have like really tried to, I don't know, take you out in a mean way or smear your name, but like you just keep pushing on. So it's very inspiring, really inspiring. You are. Wow. Okay. Pile 2. Let me know what you thought, guys. And again, if you want to check out that extended reading, it is in the comment section, the link, as well as in the description box. Take care. Hi, Pile 3. Okay, before we get into your reading, a couple things to note. I will be offering the extended reading, the shadow side to this topic through my Patreon platform. You can find the link within the comment section or in the description section. A lot of you always kind of wonder, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing the shadow side? The shadow side is important, and I promise you that it's never negative. A lot of people do receive a lot of insight into a lot of things that are happening within their life through those shadow side readings. So I promise you it's not a bashing session or it's negative. It's actually quite purposeful. And through those types of readings on looking, to the flip side, you can receive a lot of insight into what may be happening within your life. If there's anything that resonates with this reading at all, please consider giving the video a like, comment. I love reading your guys' comments, but please understand that this is a reading for thousands of people. So not everything is going to resonate with just you watching. So please, again, take what resonates and leave the rest, but also listen to the message in its entirety so that you don't miss out on a message for you. Please check out my second channel. I do talk about spirituality, ascension, and life. There could be some videos there that may be very useful to you. So go ahead and check out the first link in the description box, as well as if you'd like to book a private reading, check out the last link in the description box. That will take you to the Fiverr platform where you can book with me. Okay, guys, I also want to make a little bit of an announcement as well, too, that I am very heavily busy and bombarded by private readings at this time. You may not see a lot of videos from me here on YouTube, so I also want to reiterate that Patreon may be a place that you want to go to or check out if you do like my readings and want to see more content from me. Okay, let's get into this. Wow. Okay, so Pile 3. At first glance, I felt like I was looking at the spiritual friend, the one who is the black sheep, the one who is not really afraid to be their true, authentic self, but go in the direction that is the road less traveled, that friend that is, or that person who's just breaking down barriers, really being a person to look up to. But listen, to be you, it's very unique. And I feel like here you could be a very brave individual, a very brave soul. You've went through a lot, but you're always looking to the horizon. So when I saw these cards, I said, what's going to make this pile extremely and incredibly beautiful is their outlook on life. Okay. But I do also feel like this is the spiritual, like this is the level up, the one that's leveled up, the one that has the answers to life, the one that has a lot of wisdom, but also through a lot of the things that you've went through. So let's talk about what makes you so beautiful. People may feel like it's kind of shocking with what you've went through that you're kind of in the space that you're in right now. You're like a success story. I don't know why I want to say that. So I don't know how these people know about you or, know your life. I don't know if these are people in the family or you've shared your experiences, but you are a success story. It's kind of beautiful how you've embraced yourself. You are like the embodiment of a divine feminine. If you are watching as a female, you are embodying true authenticity within your soul. And I feel like here you're connected to a different dimension. People can see that. They may not call it a dimension, but they can see like whatever you believe in, wherever you're at mentality wise, emotionally, it's not in the same space that they are. You know something else that they don't know. And I feel like here you've got this vibe of wanting to like learn from, like we want to learn from you. People want to learn from you. Like you've somehow just really discovered what's out there and it makes you beautiful. Like even with the Six of Swords in the Moon, I feel like you're willing to like go to great depths to touch into your intuition. Like, and I don't know if that means you go exploring or it's that you need your downtime or you literally like brush up or research on metaphysics or whatever it may be, astrology, I have no idea. But I feel like just the fact that you want to tap into that, or you go that extra mile to connect to yourself, is insanely beautiful. I do feel like with this pile, you tend to put yourself as a top priority, and it could come out by, the things that you say. Maybe you talk about self-love. Maybe you talk about how important it is to, pamper yourself, how important it is to be connected, to, be in a space that is healthy, mind, body, whatever. People, through hearing that, are you talking about that? It's definitely something to look up to, because again, I don't know what you have going on in your life. And if you are, like, let's say a mother, it's actually quite impressive that you do this. This is independent energy as well too. There is an energy that's coming off of this pile where you do exude this type of, I don't know what we want to call it, but it's like you don't need anyone. You don't mind having friends, you don't mind having a companion, but at the end of the day, you don't need anyone except for yourself. But where you're at mentally, where you're at emotionally, that's extremely important for you. And you may talk about things that are different. Like, we got spiritual support here, we've got leveling up. I'm taking the level up, not in a materialistic way, to be very honest, okay? I'm taking this up as, vibrationally. You're different. You may be even like a person who consults naturopathic people, or maybe you are going out of your, scope to research how to like make everything yourself so that it could be like chemical free. But your journey is extremely important to you. It's extremely important to you. And listen, with this pile, you're not going to mess around with them, okay? You're not going to be able to mess around with this pile. So I'm not really getting here that type of person that you can walk all over, or you can just, do whatever you want to. You exude confidence. I mean, does she not exude confidence? Look at her. Look at her. And you may actually also require this of others. Like, if you're going to be around me, or if we're going to like even do this, come correct, please. I'm not really about the stupidity. I'm not really about, the mundane talk, or, talks about the weather. Like, what do you got going on for yourself? Like, what have you researched? What have you learned in life? Is there anything that you can bring to the table? What can you do here, And it's not about being a taker. It's just, again, you've leveled up, and people know that right off the bat by just sensing your energy. But even more so when they get to know you, it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, no, this is not your average day person that we're meeting. She knows, or he knows, a lot about a lot. Okay. And it's interesting, again, like with the Six of Swords, like your priority, like your spirituality and your intuition is a top priority. And with the Six of Swords, like you're willing to find it. Like you will go to the ends of the earth to find it. Like, and people may be like, wow, this is like really a priority for you, isn't it? And you're like, yeah, it is, because when I'm good, then I can function, then I can be good. Everybody around me can be good. So taking care of me is very important. And it's not in a selfish way at all, okay? But all you're doing really is just embracing your inner goddess. You know who you are. You know how special you are. And that's what also makes you beautiful. So I'm not sensing like a low self-esteem person here. I'm not saying that you are with a big ego, but you've probably figured something out to an extent where you can really be good with yourself, accept yourself in all ways, your flaws and all, but you are also actively working on yourself. So if there is something that you don't like about yourself, the motivation to correct that is also actually very beautiful. So I'm not sensing a complainer. Like you'll never complain about what's happening with you. You'll just kind of like maybe go inwards, figure it out, dissect it, and get on with it. Now, what also makes you beautiful is that you're different. So if you are very spiritual, if that's resonating with you, if you tend to talk, within your, main vocabulary, just to people out there, and you tend to kind of slip in words and stuff like that, people are like noticing that's different, okay? They know you probably dabble, you're into something of higher knowledge, and that also makes you very interesting. So not just beautiful, but interesting, right? And they feel like you can teach them something, which people love that. People don't want to just meet the same old people. They want to meet people who, like, you know, will influence them, maybe even teach them something. But you're also extremely independent. Like I cannot get over this card. Like, she's walking down a road and she's not afraid to go alone. So maybe there's things that you do also that people would find very shocking. Maybe you'll travel alone. Maybe you'll go to a meal, go have a dinner alone. Maybe you're not afraid to go to the movies alone. Maybe you're 40 and you're not really concerned about being married. Maybe you're not concerned about society, period. Like, there's no inhibitions with this pile. So you don't run your life based upon society. And while other people might be really about that, it's actually quite appreciative to see you living and being okay with going against that. That could also make you very beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful in you. Maybe they're too scared to do it. But again, with this pile, like, you don't care. Again, like, if people are gonna accept you, they're gonna have to accept you. It's not gonna be a thing where, you know, you're gonna tiptoe or dance around or, you know, make people like you. There's a strength with this pile. Now we have the breakup card here, bye. I feel like this is very indicative of really not being afraid to kind of end things with people. You know, if it's not going the way that it should or it feels right, you're not afraid to walk away. You don't need people. It's like, bye with the red lipstick. Like, I'm good. It's okay. Doesn't mean I hate you, but you're just really about your space being clean. So listen, if it's just not working out, it's just not working out. And this will apply to like anybody. So even if you've walked away from toxic family members, people are like shocked that you were able to do it. And some of you, it could be like your mother. And people are like, don't you know that's harsh? You're like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just not working, you know? And don't get me wrong, with this pile, I feel like you definitely will make efforts, you know, but if it's not working out, you're also not afraid to walk away. Now we got this card, sad. I think what makes you really beautiful as well too is that some of you who are watching could have a very deep story. There could be something that has happened in your life that you have a lot of grace about, okay? I am seeing that very clearly. It could be something, if some people heard about it, it would be horrifying, but you walk with grace with it. Like, you have a particular sadness. And some of you may be very open about this. Like, hey, I deal with, you know, anxiety. I deal with depression from time to time, but you handle it with such grace. It's actually beautiful to see. Like, it doesn't feel chaotic or like you're wreaking havoc when you're experiencing these times, but it's almost like you're carrying yourself with such grace that I feel like admirable. Like, how do you handle like what you handle, you know? Or maybe some of you, there's a part of your life that is very sad. You know, maybe you've lost somebody. Like, you'll have to tailor it to your situation. But I feel like here, people can feel sometimes a part of you that is sad, but the fact that you just don't dwell on it, or you just kind of don't maybe talk people's ear off about it, or you don't let it consume your life is really beautiful. It's really beautiful. But there is, for some people watching, something they've dealt with, or maybe they're dealing with right now that would be very sad, okay? Like, again, that strength is coming through. Now, we have caregiver. We have the caregiver card. This is also just like pile 2, the ride or die card, pile, sorry. I think if you do consider somebody like a friend or they're within your circle, you've got their back. You've got their back. But not only that too, some of you may be caregivers. I wouldn't be surprised, but you do something for people, okay? In the sense of a caregiver that is really appreciative. And I feel like there could be a lot of people that would come out of the woodwork to be like, yes, she really helped me through a hard time. And it's what the kind of knowledge that you're giving. It's the type of words that you're giving, and it's connected to spiritual. spirituality. This is not just like listening, okay? This is also, I feel like, giving the right words at the right time, but it's connected to something spiritual. I feel like here you've got a certain take on a subject that can help people through things. What do I mean by this? Sometimes people come to me and they don't know anything about spirituality, but when I start to teach them how to change their way they look at things, or with manifestations, or just working through their reaction to things, that actually helps them. Now, that would be considered spiritual talk, okay? Not everybody will give that advice. They will just some people will just say different things that have nothing to do with that. This is something I feel like that's connected. You have a gift. You have a gift of really inspiring people to change the way they look at things, or you have a knowledge of something that helps people. And I feel like those people who are being helped by you find this extremely beautiful about you, is the way that you can change things around so easily. So yes, this could be optimistic energy. Always looking at the positive things in life. It's actually shocking, I feel like, for some people, how positive you can be. Again, because I feel like with some of you, there's a sadness. There is a sadness. People know maybe even sometimes that you deal with something. Maybe you have a diagnosis. I don't know. But it's shocking. I'm really feeling that shocking energy, like, of how you keep it together. Now, the surveillance card is here as well, too. I feel like you're extremely protective of your own. And that's going to be for whoever you consider important to you. The way you have people's back is unbelievable. And I feel like I could call you at 3 o'clock in the morning. I feel like I'm going to put this out there. For some of you, it could go really far. I feel like I could call you at 3 a.m. and say, like, I need to get bailed out, and you will be there if you care about me. With the surveillance card as well, too, this is protective energy. So I feel like what makes you very beautiful is that you watch people's backs. Like, you're there for it. And you have a sixth sense, and you're able to kind of, I feel like, even help people out in this surveillance energy with letting them know sometimes something that they're not aware of. I'm seeing that. And that could be a big spectrum. It could be like, hey, like, I just want to let you know, make sure you're, like, being careful around that person. I have a weird vibe about it. I feel strange about that person. Just don't tell them too much. Or maybe you're having dreams about people, you know, and you're protecting them that way. But regardless, like, your surveillance, you have an energy of surveillance that people find really beautiful. It's like, hey, like, I'm being looked out for. Like, you look out for me. That is, like, beautiful. Because, listen, I know a lot of people who will think things and they will not even go tell the person, okay? I have a bit of this as well, too, and my friendship circle really appreciate this, okay? I'll let them know. I'm protective that way. Now, this is beautiful. Gossip. Neighbors, small talk, and grapevine. You don't do none of that. You're not for that. No. This is too low vibrational. People love that they trust, like, I think if I'm around you, I never hear you say a bad word about anybody. And even if you just don't like people or you've cast them out of your life, you don't end up talking about them anymore. It's like, it's done, it's done. There's no need to engage in that. I feel like here what makes you beautiful is that you're not, like, trying to be a part of any group. You don't care to be liked. So if there is gossip going around in a particular group, you're cool to stay outside of it because you just don't do it. And you're not for it, okay? You like to let people prove themselves to you. You're not really about, like, casting, what's the word, like, judgments. You're not into that, you know, judge a book by its cover. You really allow people to prove themselves to you. And you're not about judging or just filtering people out based upon, like, this, that, or that, okay? People feel comfortable with you that if they do share something with you, it will not go around town. It will be safe. And that could be that you have some Scorpios here, because Scorpios are really good at keeping your secrets. Like, that's one sign I've noticed. If you tell them something, they keep it quiet. But you don't have to be a Scorpio, okay? But this makes you extremely beautiful, because in a world of people where we just can't trust, you are just really respectful of people's space. And when they do come and tell you something or they confide in you, you consider that gold, you know? The fact that someone even was able to do that, you know, share that with you, it's under tight wraps. So people find that also extremely beautiful, but it also makes you trusting. You know, I'm not going to hang out with you and hear you talking about Susie, yet you're going out and, you know, having dinner with Susie, okay? If you don't like people, you just stay away from them. It's like this, bye. Bye. No need to prolong. So wow, pile 3, good for you. If this resonates, beautiful. If you'd like to catch the reading, again, it's in the comment section, the link, and also within the description box. I wish you all the best, guys. Take care. Hi, pile 4. Okay, before we get into your reading, a couple of things to note. I will be offering the shadow side to this reading through my Patreon platform. You can find the link to that in the description box or the comment section. Guys, I don't know how often I'll be able to be put out, you know, readings through YouTube, as I'm extremely busy with private readings and my Patreon platform. So if you do want to see more readings from me, that may be the way to go. So check it out if you feel guided to. Please remember that this is a reading for thousands of people, so not everything that I say within this one reading will be able to resonate with just you watching. Take what resonates and definitely leave the rest, but please listen to the message in its entirety. As well as if you'd like to book a private reading with me, check the last link in the description box. It will take you to the Fiverr platform, as well as check out my second channel. I am talking about ascension, spirituality, and life over there. There may be some videos that resonate with you, so go on and check that out. Okay, let's get into your reading, pile 4. At first glance, I felt like here we've got a success story. Some of you may have a huge success story. You may be actually a success story yourself. I do feel like here, this is not a pile that I feel like has had it very easy, but what makes you beautiful is the fact that you just keep going. I don't know why. That was the first thing I felt like when I saw this spread. I was like, out of everything that has happened, it's amazing that you still can get up and keep going. It's amazing. It really is. It's beautiful. And I feel like here, you know, with this card of intense shadow work, you've actively made like your life a priority as far as like digging deep. You are a person who's extremely deep, and maybe amongst your friends, amongst your family, you never fit in, but people always knew you were different that way, and that you really cared about, you know, bettering yourself, okay? That has always been very beautiful, very beautiful. And, you know, I think we've got some people here who have made like big things out of nothing, because we have the starting from zero card, but I feel like here, you've accomplished a lot, okay? So, and that's going to be a big spectrum. So I don't know what you have going on for yourself. This is a general reading, but whether that be that you've, you know, have a master's in something, or you've literally like changed up your career, or you have done something, you know, significant in your life that everybody knows you by, this would apply. I feel like we've done something big, and let's not go to the 9s with that. It could be even within like your group. Like, let's say if you're on YouTube, some people think that's huge. I know in my life, they're like, YouTube? Oh, wow, I've never heard that before. And I'm like, really? It's 2023. How is that possible? But anyways, it is, right? I feel like also too, there could be something about you that is very unique. There's an origin, and I'm not going to pretend to know where you come from. Okay, I don't know what kind of starseed you are, but I feel like there's something magical about your energy. People find you very beautiful because you are different. There's something within your aura and your energy that speaks of not of this world, okay? Different. There's a heightenedness, and they can feel it. They may not be able to put it into words, but I feel like they feel it. And listen, you could be a generational like curse breaker here. You could be a light worker here. You could be somebody who really stirs up a lot of stuff in people, okay? Trigger people. But the truth lives. The truth lives. And look at her. She's a warrior. Look at her. I am the truth. I speak my truth. Many people don't like it, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, I have to be happy with myself. I cannot bottle myself up. I am the truth, and I live through my truth. So there could be something here with respect to maybe something you've done that has been maybe going against, the norms within your family, or I don't know, your community. Maybe you are from a traditional family and you're like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to be following that path, This bravado to like take the road less traveled, it's been very lonely. People don't understand how you do it alone because maybe you haven't had much supporters. But it's beautiful that nonetheless, you do take the path, like you walk the path. You're willing to. And I think a lot of people maybe, watching this who may not have had many people on their side, people know this about you. Maybe you've had a very lonely life. And again, that willingness to just get up and keep going is unbelievable. And you do exude like a warrior spirit. You have this like pioneer energy, like I'm at the forefront and I'm doing something new. You could be a trailblazer, and this is also what makes you beautiful, because there could be some times too where it could be a touchy arena or somewhere people don't really want to explore because it could be a little taboo, but you're like, no, I'm going there. So there is a bit of an adventure energy about you. But with the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Swords, like you're here to be your truest, authentic self and speak your truth, live your truth with the Ace of Swords. And listen, you could be very direct. People love it about you. I'm not saying people don't love it about you. That could be in the follow-up extended reading, because listen, there's always gonna be people who don't like that. But for the people who do enjoy this directness, because then they don't have to wonder, they love this about you. It's extremely beautiful. And sometimes it could be very innocent. So listen, Queen of Wands is here. Let's be real. I'm not saying that you're a fire sign, but the fire signs are the ones that literally put their foot in their mouth. They're those ones that are just going to say something out of nowhere and the whole room is like, what? Did she just say that? Yeah, you're that one. But you will call out stuff. You will call out stuff to people as well too. Like you're not really allowed about like letting things go or slide. You're really your own best supporter. And again, like you may not have people to support you, but because you support yourself and you fight for yourself, like you're your best defender, people also find this beautiful. Like the fact that you speak up. And listen, you may have also turned a lot of lemons into lessons. I'm telling you, with this group, we could have people who are considered outcasts. It doesn't mean that you're an outcast. Don't take this reading so literal. I know there's a lot of people who get very offended, and I just don't know why, because I'm just trying to give you an idea of like other people and how they feel. If you are doing something different, or if there's something that you have lived a different type of life to be considered an outcast, then that's what I'm saying. But I'm in no way saying that by saying outcast that means you're bad or that something's wrong with you. I am considered an outcast. I'm reading for a living, okay? When all my family members are in the tech field and are millionaires, okay? So just to give you an example, that's kind of what I'm saying. Now, this is interesting. You feel like family, okay? You feel like family. And there is this word here, origin. I feel like what people feel like is very beautiful about you is that when they do connect with you, you do feel like they're connecting with something of a soul tribe member, someone who they can feel like on a deep level, there's something there, there's substance. You make everybody feel like family that you care about, but this could also be the way you are with your own. So if you have like little ones, This is also very beautiful, the way you are with your family. It's very tight knit. Some of you may have a big family or a family that supports you, or if it's not that and it's your family that you've created, it's really beautiful to watch. People consider you actually quite lucky, but they think that what you do, like as your job, let's say you're a mother or a father, like you do it extremely well. But soul family is here. So people are connecting to you on a deeper level than they feel. Like maybe they don't understand it, but it's like intense, and you're different than others that they meet. So when they do feel you, or like at first, or they get to know you, it starts to become deeper. So I feel like for those who find you really beautiful, they consider you a soul tribe member. Now, this is interesting as well too. Control, releasing and taking back power. I feel like this pile could have a story, could really have a story of the way that they grew up. Maybe there was a lot of people who tried to put you on a puppet strings, control you, and you have stories about taking back your power. Maybe you teach that to people, you know? They find this extremely beautiful, the fact that you were able to get yourself out of this. Not everybody can be a survivor. Some people think they are, but they're still engaging in, you know, connections that still have like resemble that, you know, based upon like other connections they've had in their past, and they just keep continuing the cycle. But again, the truth lives on with you. Like you're here to stand out. And, you know, I like the fact that she has this sword in her hand because she doesn't care. She doesn't care who gets in her way. Like her peace is her priority. So the fact that you are like willing to kind of go to the ends to protect that peace is also very beautiful. And, you know, this could be that group that is like, yeah, I'm not going to work for anybody who's making me feel a particular way. I'm not going to engage with any kind of friendships that are toxic or make me feel like I'm less than. I'm not going to be with any man who is just, you know, trying to control me or doesn't allow me to be free. Now, there is also a freeness with this pile. You could be a little spontaneous, okay? It could be a little reckless to some people, but for the most part, people genuinely think this is quite beautiful about you. The fact that you, on a whim, are able to just go and be free with yourself. So let's say, you know, you just decide like, okay, well, you know what? I don't really feel like doing this today. I think I need to go sit in nature, or I need to go climb that mountain, or I need to like make space for myself to like, you know, pull back my power. People find this very admirable, the fact that you're willing to make this kind of sacrifice. And I feel like with this pile, you do make sacrifices to really just connect to your higher self. And it's interesting because the intuition card is here. Intuition. Your intuition is spot on. And people find this beautiful. You may have people who actually come to you. I wouldn't be surprised if we've got some tarot readers here or psychics. But even if you're not like a practicing psychic, people may know in your group, like you've got those kind of answers because you're so connected to your intuition that they're going to console you. And I feel like here what's beautiful is that you are connected. Like people I feel like want to be like you. Like, how do I get connected to myself? How do I want to be like you. I want to be as connected to my intuition. I want to like be, you know, open. I want to receive, you know, the types of insight that you receive. It's just really beautiful, you know, to see how much work you've put into this. And I really do feel like with this pile, you've had to put work into this. You know, in this world, it may have not been that easy for you to live this life. Maybe you come from, again, another star system. You know, this is your first time here. Being here is extremely hard, but like you're doing your best. You really are. And I love this card, accomplice, partner in crime. So we've got another ride or die energy here. I feel like, you know, people really feel like you've got their back. If you are willing to, you know, do something or say you're going to do something. And I know that looks a little bit like, wow, like what are we talking about here? But I'm reading this subliminally. I'm not saying that you're engaging in crimes, but what I'm trying to say is that I feel like here you've got people's backs. So let's say like somebody was like, listen, I'm really scared to talk to this person, whatever. Will you come for moral support, or will you come to like, you know, the courthouse because I just don't feel comfortable being alone. Like, you're there. You're like, absolutely, I'm there for you. Like, you are a good friend. You really are a good friend. But healing, this has been a huge part of your life. And people know that. People know you've had to heal from many things, maybe even addictions or people, past traumas. But it's a continuing thing with you. And listen, sometimes maybe people don't like it. You know, you have to leave them to go do this healing. But at the end of the day, it's very admirable that you put it first, that you put your healing first, that you put like everything that you like about spirituality, your higher self, your maybe even talents, or, you know, what you do first. You know, if you need to clear your head, you go off, or if you need to like have some time away from somebody, you do it. You're just always putting yourself first. And in a world where everybody's trying to please, that's very admirable. It really is. And for those of you who have started from zero, like, this could be the pile who just nobody's ever given you a helping hand, or, you know, paid for anything or helped. Like, I don't know. There could be some people here who just don't have those types of stories where they can say that their parent put them through, like, you know, college, university, or whatever it may be, or helped them with anything. You are a success story. Okay. Your success story should actually be broadcasted. It should be a story that's told often. Because I feel like here, if you can do it, anybody can do it. Because maybe a lot of the odds have been against you growing up. And maybe you have been, I guess, felt to be outcasted. You know, maybe you haven't had the best life. Maybe growing up, it was hard for you to fit in. But you're doing the best with what you have. And again, this road less traveled, you're just, it's so unique. You know, while the herd is going this way, you're like that one person going that way. And you're true to yourself. If you believe it and you feel it, you're true to it. And it's very admirable. So if you are a type of person who often says, like, I don't do things I don't feel guided to do. You know, I got to check in with the Lord. I got to check in with Spirit. I got to make sure I feel right about this. That is very beautiful. Instead, to just be a people pleaser or someone who's like not willing to face backlash, you're like, well, if I face backlash, I do. If I face whatever, this, that, it's fine. Because at the end of the day, I have to do what's right for me. Then so be it. And that Queen of Wands, she will be like that. She's very authentic to who she is. She's very in her truth. She's willing to go against the grain. She's willing to fight against anything just to be who she is authentically. And listen, that's a big deal in itself. Let's really not underestimate that. But you could be a warrior and a fighter. And again, always actively doing shadow work. It's important to you to be cleansed. It's important for you to feel like good about yourself. And while maybe sometimes people just don't understand, you know, certain things that you do, it's okay because you understand it and you're good with it. And that's what matters at the end of the day. So, wow, pile 4. Let me know what you thought about this reading. I would really love to see your feedback. If there's anything that you liked about it, also like the video, it would help me. But I wish you all the best, guys. Take care.